Hey, what's up, everybody? Ralph here. So today's topic, I came across an article in CNBC.com. The title was "Middle Class Americans Face Retirement Insecurity." So for me, this is an important topic because I know a lot of people, like most of us, we don't really think about retirement until it's time to retire. Especially if you're somewhere in your 20s, you're like, man, 65 years old, man, that's a long ways away. I'll retire. I'll think about it when the time comes. But then by then, it's usually too late. So I read this article and kind of there was a couple of key points that kind of piqued my interest. So I'm gonna just go through the key points. There's like two of them to begin the article. So the first key point is middle class U.S. households have limited financial reserves and may face retirement insecurity, according to the National Institute on Retirement Security. That's point number one. Point number two, in 2019, middle-class baby boomers households had median assets of $51,700, and the numbers are significantly lower among Black and Hispanic families. So, I mean, right there, you're seeing that, for a lot of people that you can see that a lot of people, when it comes to retirement, are unprepared, right? So, and this has just come across the board, Black, whites, Hispanics, it doesn't matter. Obviously, when you see whites, they have more income, more savings compared to Blacks and Hispanics. But overall, most people are just not prepared to retire, right? So as I go through this article, it says the middle-class U.S. households have limited financial assets and may face retirement insecurity, according to an analysis from the National Institute of Retirement Security, a nonprofit, nonpartisan research and education organization. The study looked at financial assets by generation, net worth, and race, based on data from the Federal Reserve Survey and Consumer Finance. In 2019, middle-class households with a median net worth of $22,630 for millennial households, $150,500 for Generation X, and $236,350 for baby boomers own only a small portion of the generation's overall financial assets, suggesting there's a concentration of wealth among more affluent households. While the middle-class millennials have 14% of generation assets, the amounts are lower for Gen X and boomers, each holding single-digit percentages of wealth. All right, so moreover, median middle-class household financial assets, which don't include physical assets like homes, show each generation's savings may not be enough for retirement. So obviously, they say it doesn't include physical assets like homes. So obviously, they're talking primarily about cash. Right, which is what you're going to need in order to retire, because you need to make sure that the cash that you have, sustains the life of, sustains, the term of your life, right? So it's good to have assets like, property, because obviously you can always sell that or, take cash out that. But obviously you want to make sure you have enough cash in, like say in the bank or in stocks where you can actually, that's liquid, that you can take the money out and pay for your expenses so you can live the rest of your life. But most people tend not to have enough for the term of their life. And you can see that. So it says middle-class baby boomers have median assets of $51,700, but the amounts were significantly lower for Black and Hispanic families, with $30,900 and $22,280 respectively. Although middle-class Gen X households still have some time before retirement, the analysis shows they may not be on track. The median assets of $39,000, and with less time in the workforce, millennials had accumulated the least amount of wealth at $7,800. So they say millennials have only about $7,800 on average when it comes to wealth for retirement. So you can see that people don't take the time to focus on retirement, for whatever reason, either because obviously they don't make it a priority. They're like, that's a long ways away, so I don't have to worry about it, or lack of knowledge. Like most people, they really don't understand in terms of what to invest in or how to really plan for retirement. And most people, when they think about budgeting or allocating resources to make sure they're ready for retirement, most people don't do that. They have a job, they work, and then when it comes time to retirement, they rely on Social Security to pay for their, to help them live. But and most people, if you understand, Social Security is not meant to, help you sustain your life. It's supposed to supplement your life, as you get older. Right? You're supposed to be focusing on things like 401ks, IRAs, and then you have the Social Security to help supplement your income. That's what it is, it's supplemental. But most people, once it's time to retire, they're living off Social Security. And if you're going to do that, man, it's going to be a struggle, because and if you look at today's society, man, you can't live off Social Security income. And you know, some people think by, you know, a certain year, who knows, 10, 15 years, that there's not going to be any Social Security left. So if you're a person, you know, that's in your 20s or 30s or 40s, you want to make sure you're starting to focus on, you want to focus on building up that retirement. So therefore, you don't have to rely on the government to take care of you when you get older, or a family member. You want to make sure, or at least if, you know, if a family member is going to take care of you, at least have some income coming to you that can help them, you know, in terms of taking care of you as you get older. So to continue with the article, it says middle class Americans are struggling to accumulate sufficient financial assets during the workers' years, said Tyler Bond, manager of research of the National Institute of Retirement Security. These findings align with other data showing most older American savings don't match their expected retirement income. I'm going to read that again. These findings align with the other data showing most older American savings don't match their expected retirement income. Basically, when it comes time to retirement, like I said before, whatever income most people have in their savings, it's not enough to sustain them for the term of their life. Okay, so you need to make sure you're accumulating a lot of money, because who knows, after you retire by the age of 65, 66, who knows if you have another, you know, 15 years that you got to live, right? So those 15 years, you're gonna need a lot of money to sustain yourself over the lifetime of your life. All right. So more than half of American workers over age 40 have less than $50,000 saved for retirement. So more than half of American workers over 40 have less than $50,000. So $50,000 is not gonna sustain you for the term of your life. If you're 65, if you only have $50,000, you're gonna need more than that, right? But like they said only half of Americans over 40 have, you know, less than $50,000 saved for retirement. So, and the majority aren't boosting savings to increase their nest egg, according to a survey from Insured Retirement Institute. Moreover, many Americans aren't leveraging workplace retirement plans. Some 17% of those with access to employer accounts, such as 401ks, don't contribute. Magnified money report shows. So basically, what they're saying is, so they said that Americans aren't using the retirement plans that their companies offer. So they're just saying, all right, let me just take all this money. I'm not going to worry about retirement. So people aren't contributing to their retirement plans that their jobs offer. So, and that's an issue, because obviously 401k is something that, you know, especially if your employer matches, is something you should be doing. I even remember myself when I was working a 9-to-5 job, I didn't do it myself. I think mainly because I knew that I didn't want to work for the rest of my life. So I was like, you know, I don't want to have that mentality of putting into a 401k. But going back, I probably would do that. But, you know, another thing is, a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand, you know, obviously, when it comes to 401k, so they just don't contribute. All right. So it says, of those who participate in workplace plans, 17.5 million savers leave their companies' matching funds on the table. Again, people aren't matching what their companies are offering. So that's an issue in itself. That's free money, right? So whatever your employer allows you to contribute, you should be putting the max amount so your employer can match it. That's free money that you're leaving on the table. And it says about 17.5 million savers don't do that. Don't contribute. Don't participate in their company's plans. So it says, however, many workers still don't have access to workplace retirement plans, Bond explained, adding to the issue. About 67% of private industry employees have company-provided retirement plans, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And while those without employer plans may save through individual retirement accounts, they're less likely to happen. So basically, like 67% of private industry employers have retirement plans, and a lot of people aren't contributing. And if they don't offer that retirement plan, a lot of people won't save. So even if you have a company that doesn't offer it, most people are just not going to save. They're just going to say, all right, there's no retirement plan. I'm just going to just live throughout my life and then rely on Social Security, which is not a good strategy. All right, so there's a good amount of data that shows that's not what people do, said Bond. The majority of people not offered a 401k or another type of plan through the employer are just not going to save. So they're just not going to save. If your company doesn't offer it, a lot of people just won't save. So they won't plan for their retirement. So while Congress passed changes to the U.S. retirement system with Secure Act of 2019, a pair of bipartisan bills in the House and Senate aimed for that legislation. The bills may expand catch-up contributions for savers 50 and over, and offer part-time workers 401 access. So basically what Congress is trying to do is they're trying to create a plan called the catch-up contributions plan. So basically, the limit when it comes to 401ks, there's a limit that you can contribute, which is about 19,500 for 401ks and about 6,000 for IRAs. So what this plan will allow you to do is you can contribute a little bit more. So for a 401k, you can contribute an additional $6,000 on top of the 19,500 to your 401k, and then you can contribute another 1,000 for your IRAs. So this will help those that, if you're above 50, you weren't saving, as you should, during your early years. It allows you to, contribute a little bit more to help you with retirement. So retirement security seems to be one area where there can still be a bipartisan cooperation on the Hill, Bond said. Additionally, state and run individual retirement accounts such as plans in California, Illinois, and Oregon are gaining traction as lawmakers seek ways to improve retirement saving gaps. So yeah, that's the end of the article. So yeah, so when it comes to retirement, you guys got to really plan this thing out, especially if you're younger, man. If you can start saving younger, there's more money by the time you have when you're retirement, especially if you're investing in stocks or you're in 401ks, IRAs. This is necessary planning. You want to make sure that you're allocating resources. They have the 50-30-20 rule. Well, 50-30-20 rule, where 50% is going to your needs, rent, mortgage, whatever, gas, groceries. And then you have 30% going to your wants, things that you want that you just like to spend on things that you want that you don't really need. And then 20% should be going to, investments in retirement. So you should, if you're allocating your money that way, then if you're doing that from your 20s to your 30s to your 40s, 50s, then by the time you retire, you should be okay. All right. So I think it's important to invest in that. All right. So that's all I got. Light turned off. That's all I got for this article. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Right. Have a